The pursuit of effectiveness is often mistaken for a race. We believe that if we move faster, manage our calendars more tightly, or exert more force, we will reach a destination of fulfillment. Yet, true effectiveness is not about speed. It is about alignment. It is the art of moving in harmony with principles that govern our character rather than our tactics. Stephen Covey's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, a framework for shifting from a personality-based, superficial life to one built on the bedrock of character and principle. We live in an age of the quick fix. We are taught that if we use the right techniques, the right scheduling software, the right persuasive language, or the right networking hacks, we can bypass the slow, tedious work of building a foundation. We look for shortcuts to success, hoping to harvest fruits without ever having planted the seeds. This mindset creates an internal dissonance. We achieve external markers of success while feeling a profound lack of inner peace. We have become experts at managing our lives, but we have lost the ability to lead ourselves. The fundamental problem is that our character is the soil from which our effectiveness grows. When we focus on techniques, the surface-level behaviors, while neglecting our character, we are like a captain trying to navigate a ship by moving the furniture on the deck while ignoring the navigation charts. We feel busy, we feel productive, yet we are drifting further from our true north. The frustration we feel when our efforts don't yield the fulfillment we expect is a signal. It is a signal that we have prioritized the urgent over the important and the socially desirable over the principled. When you try to build a life on the shifting sands of personality-based techniques, you become a slave to external validation. You find yourself constantly reacting to the demands of others, trying to project a version of yourself that is pleasing, efficient, and successful. This creates a state of chronic stress. You are living for the outcome rather than the process. You are measuring your worth by the ticking of the clock rather than the quality of your contribution. This leads to a fragmentation of the self. We become different people in different rooms, a version for the office, a version for the home, a version for society. Each version requires a different mask, and maintaining these masks is exhausting. It drains our vitality and blurs our sense of purpose. We forget who we are when the masks are taken off. The 7 habits represent a movement away from this fragmentation. They invite us to move from dependence, where we rely on others to define us, to independence, where we master ourselves, and finally to interdependence, where we realize that our highest achievements are realized through the synergy of connection. Effectiveness is not a destination. It is a continuous process of aligning our internal compass with universal principles like integrity, contribution, and growth. When you stop chasing the quick fix and begin to cultivate your character, you stop managing time and start managing your life. You move from the chaos of reaction to the stillness of purpose. The 7 habits are not a checklist of tasks. They are a cycle of maturation. Habit 1. Be proactive. Most of us live in a state of reaction, allowing our circumstances to dictate our moods and choices. Being proactive is the recognition that between any stimulus and your response, there is a space. In that space lies your freedom. It is the ability to choose your response based on your values rather than your conditioning. Proactive people carry their own weather. When they encounter a storm, they do not let it dampen their internal clarity. They take responsibility for their part in every situation, knowing that while they cannot control the world, they have absolute authority over their own agency. Habit 2. Begin with the end in mind. Everything is created twice, first in the mind, then in the physical world. If you do not consciously choose what you are building, you will live by default, constructing a life based on the values of your environment rather than your own heart. To begin with the end in mind is to define your mission statement. What are the principles that will guide your life? If you had to stand in front of your own legacy, what would you want it to say? When you live with a clear vision, every action becomes a stepping stone rather than a stumble. Habit 3. Put first things first. This is the habit of daily integrity. It is the physical creation of what you visualized in habit 2. Effectiveness is the ability to prioritize the important over the urgent. We often spend our lives putting out fires, leaving no time for the deep, transformative work that truly moves the needle. Putting first things first means saying no to the trivial so you can say yes to the vital. It is the practice of living by a schedule that honors your values, not just your deadlines. Habit 4. Think win-win. Human interaction is not a zero-sum game. The belief that for you to win, another must lose is a scarcity mindset that poisons relationships. Thinking win-win is the habit of abundance. It is the commitment to finding solutions where all parties feel heard, valued, and respected. It requires courage to ask for what you need, but also the consideration to understand what the other person needs. It is the foundation of trust. Habit 5. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. We listen with the intent to reply, not the intent to understand. We filter everything through our own autobiography, rushing to give advice or insert our own stories. Seeking first to understand is the highest form of empathy. It is the practice of empathetic listening with your eyes, your heart, and your ears. When you genuinely understand the other person, you create a psychological air that allows them to drop their defenses. Only then can you effectively offer your own perspective. Habit 6. Synergize. Synergy is the realization that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. It is the celebration of difference. When two people value their differences, they create a third alternative that is better than what either could have achieved alone. Synergy is not compromise, it is creative cooperation. It is the humility to admit that your vision is limited and the curiosity to see what happens when you combine your vision with someone else's. Habit 7. Sharpen the saw. This is the habit of renewal. It is the practice of preserving and enhancing your greatest asset, yourself. You must balance the 4 dimensions of your life: the physical, the social, /emotional, the mental, and the spiritual. If you do not regularly sharpen the saw through exercise, reading, reflection, and contribution, you will lose the edge required to practice the other 6 habits. It is the upward spiral of continuous improvement where every experience becomes a lesson. To apply these habits, one must view life as a laboratory for character development. Consider the challenge of a difficult relationship at work. The technique-based approach would be to look for a script that forces the other person to change their behavior. The principle-based approach, however, begins with habit 1, recognizing that you are the proactive agent in the interaction. You ask, how am I contributing to the current dynamic? You then move to habit 2. What is my goal in this relationship? If your goal is to build long-term trust, you adjust your approach. You then apply habit 3 by prioritizing the time needed to build that trust, rather than treating the relationship as an afterthought. During your next conversation, you apply habit 4 and 5. You enter the room with the intention of finding a solution that benefits both. And instead of defending your position, you listen. You ask questions. You repeat back what you hear until the other person feels fully understood. You say, "I want to make sure I'm seeing this from your perspective. Is this correct?" This is a radical act. It shifts the entire energy of the room. By seeking to understand, you create a space of safety where the other person can shift from a defensive posture to a collaborative one. This is where habit 6 emerges. You have successfully navigated the friction and moved into synergy, finding a solution neither of you initially envisioned. Throughout this process, you are practicing habit 7, reflecting on what you learned and how you can be a better communicator next time. This application is not limited to the workplace. It is how you raise children, how you nurture a marriage, and how you sustain your own internal integrity. When you treat your life as a practice of these principles, you become increasingly effective because you are becoming increasingly solid. Your external results begin to reflect the quality of your internal character. You are no longer tossed about by the changing winds of circumstances. You are anchored by a set of truths that remain constant regardless of the environment. The beauty of this framework is its sustainability. Because these habits are based on principles, laws of human nature that are universal, they do not go out of style. They do not require a specific talent or a unique personality type. They require only the commitment to grow. They are accessible to anyone who is willing to look inward, take responsibility, and begin the work of building a life that is not just successful, but significant. As we conclude this reflection, remember that change is a process, not an event. You will not master these habits in a day, a month, or even a year. The 7 habits represent a lifelong pursuit of maturity. There will be days when you fall back into reactive patterns, when you prioritize the urgent over the important, or when you listen to respond rather than to understand. This is not a failure. It is simply part of the learning curve. Each time you notice these patterns, you are sharpening your saw. True effectiveness is the result of small, consistent choices. It is the cumulative effect of 1,000 decisions made in alignment with your principles. It is the patience to tend the soil of your character, knowing that the harvest will come in its own time. Do not let the enormity of this vision overwhelm you. Start exactly where you are. Be proactive in one conversation. Define one principle that will guide your behavior today. Listen to one person with the goal of understanding. Put one important task before an urgent one. These are the building blocks of an effective life. You possess everything you need to begin this journey. The principles of effectiveness are not external to you. They're already present in your capacity to choose, your capacity to love, and your capacity to contribute. All that is required is the courage to claim that capacity. As you move forward, keep your focus on the process. Trust the principles. Let your character be your guide. When you align your life with these truths, you discover that effectiveness is not something you do, it is something you become. You are moving toward a life of profound clarity, deep connection, and enduring purpose.